Thank you so much for that warm and very friendly introduction. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm very excited to be here because content and marketing is one of my favorite things to talk about. Okay, so like Bofa said, I am a brand storyteller or brand manager, and my core expertise is content strategy, social media strategy, and also mobile videography. Videography is just basically using phone to create video content, like product tutorials, event highlights, all of that. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen so I can present, so you guys can follow what I'm teaching with my slides. Give me a second. Okay, great. Okay. So please let me know if you can see my screen yet.
Yes, we can see it's coming up. Yeah.
Okay, great. So let's start from the beginning. Okay. So what qualifies me? What qualifies me to give you this masterclass, or why should you even be listening to me? Let me give you a bit of background on where I'm coming from or some of the work I've done in the past. So I started out as a social media manager and a content writer. I started when I was still in university. I think just final year, just before I went for service, I was writing for blogs and offering social media management for small businesses. And thankfully, because I personally really enjoy creating or consuming, rather, I really enjoy consuming content, like spending time online, but also strategically, like because there's a lot of content online, and it's very easy to get distracted or to just come online and be scrolling and just be endlessly scrolling. But there's also a lot of valuable and insightful content being shared online at the same time. Like most of what I learned to kickstart my career, at least, I learned by following the right accounts on social media, like influencers or creators that were talking about marketing, that were teaching other people or business owners how to create content for social media, how to present their brands on social media, how to drive sales with social media, all of that. I paid a lot of attention to them. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. At the beginning, I used to spend hours on some creators' pages just learning and soaking it all up. And so when I started, even though that's not what I studied in school, it seemed like I was finally putting in, like I had this strong or large base of residual knowledge, and I was just finally putting everything to practice. And so yeah, so that just made it very easy for me to do what I'm doing now. So that's basically to say that a lot of what you're looking for, a lot of the knowledge gaps you currently have as a content strategist or as a marketer, you can fill that by being strategic with how you spend your time on social media and the kind of content you choose to consume. So I started out as someone doing social media management for businesses. And the first digital platform I got very conversant with was Instagram. And so I did that. And then I got my first full-time job was as a personal assistant to a creator who was trying to build her audience at the time. At the time, she had a little over 13K followers. And as her personal assistant and content creator, I was coming up with ideas for posts, creating content that would be posted on a daily basis, bringing up ideas that would help to grow her audience and also sell her products, because she wanted to grow a very engaged community and be able to sell products to them. So that was my first full-time job, where I was doing any kind of digital marketing or where I was implementing a digital strategy to achieve a specific objective. And after a year, I worked with her for a year. After a year, she went from over 13K followers to over 100K followers. And we didn't run ads. It was mostly content. All of that growth was driven by content that her audience found relevant and insightful. And I'll go into that more when I start the presentation properly. or rather when I get into the presentation properly. So yeah, so that's just, so I've worked with a personal brand, and then after her, my next job was with a media publication, Zikoko actually. And so then I learned how to create content that's just really entertaining, really relatable, and that people that would encourage people, or yeah, encourage people to share, because as a media publication, you need people sharing, reposting the content, commenting, wanting to come on the page to see what's new and what has been posted recently. So then at Zikoko, I learned, I got to practice that a lot. I got to learn that a lot, learn how to really use storytelling to drive engagement and to key into pop culture, and just how to create content that people will find extremely engaging. And then after Zikoko, I got to work with an agency, and now I work full time with an organization. So over the course of my career, thankfully I've had the opportunity to perform or to exist in different roles across the digital content marketing spectrum, sort of, yeah. And then also along the line, I've had to pick up different skills to make me better at what I'm doing. Skills like Canva, designing with Canva, editing with CapCut, using content management tools, so like Notion, Google Workspace, all of that. So this is just to say that those are very important tools that you should pay attention to and you should be comfortable with or conversant with. Okay, so now let's get into it. Digital content strategy, crafting engaging and effective strategies for brands and businesses. Presentation by me. So here's about me. I mean, like I said earlier, I'm a brand storyteller with core expertise in content strategy, social media strategy, mobile videography. And I've been at it for 6 years now. I worked with B2C brands, B2B brands, personal brands to create content that builds audiences and drives action. So now, what is a digital content strategy? It's basically like a blueprint or a roadmap for creating, distributing, and managing content across digital platforms. But the thing with, unfortunately, there are people that turn up on digital platforms and feel like it's mostly all they have to do is create content and post. But that's not going to drive any meaningful results because there's no method to it. But a strategy is what gives you that method and streamlines your actions such that it's optimized to bring about the results that you are looking for. So at the end of the day, a smart digital content strategy will help your brand be relevant online, help it be visible, and help it be impactful. Impactful, of course, in this context, rather means driving the action that you want. For example, it could be you could want to grow a larger audience that's get more followers for the brand, or drive sales, or just make the brand visible. A digital content strategy is what will streamline or guide your actions and lead you to that desired result. So how do you craft this, your content strategy? First step is to know your audience. If a strategy is not working, most times it can be traced back to either a misunderstanding of the audience or a lack of definition of the audience. Of course, like when you come online, there are millions, if not billions of people online, and it's easy to be tempted to feel like, oh, I can just target everyone, or oh, my business is my target audience, or my customer is anyone. That's not recommended at all. You should make out time to know your audience. And know of course, like most times when target audience mapping is taught, we talk about age, factors like demographic factors like age, gender, location, education, income, which is all fine, but it goes deeper than that. Aside from knowing their age and the gender and the location and the education and the income, You also should know what their interests are, what their lifestyle is like, what their values are, what kind of opinions they hold, and then also their behavior, like what platforms do they spend the most time on, um, what are their purchase habits like, what kind of content do they like to engage in, what kind of creators do they like to follow. And a great example of this is, say, for example, if the brand in question is a hair care brand, it's easy to sit back and assume that a hair care brand's audience is women. Well, hair care brand for women, because now we are seeing more and more hair care brands targeted at men. But if the brand is a hair care brand for women, it's easy to assume, oh, women is my target audience. So women aged from whatever age, or say from 18 to 45, are my target audience, because those are the people that you've seen that buys the product. But if you give it more thought, you know that it's not just any random 30-year-old woman that is buying the product. Because, say, for example, the hair care brand is, even if it's just in like a hair care brand that offers products like relaxers, the fact that there's relaxer involved means women who are natural hair enthusiasts are not a part of that audience. They don't have any use for that product, and they'll most likely the algorithm will not even show them any of that content, because they've made it clear through their online activity that they are more interested in natural hair products, natural hair communities, natural hair creators. So a hair care brand that is offering relaxers, or that has relaxers as part of their product line, and has not refined their audience in such a way that they are creating content that caters specifically to women that use relaxers, because your content is not refined to cater to your exact audience, the algorithm is showing your content to everybody, or you're creating content that assumingly caters to everybody, and then nobody is interested, because you're trying to target everybody or get everybody's attention. You end up getting no one's attention. Okay, so let me just finish up the example. So the hair care brand offers has relaxers, has hair gel. I shouldn't have started with a hair care brand, because I don't make my hair. I have so little information about how a lot of hair care stuff operates. But yeah, let me just go on with it. So
I
say
I can help you. Is it? I mean, if anybody makes hair and like you interact with hair care brands a lot, maybe this will be a good time to give. Blessing has been cutting her hair for years, so she
right.
so relax. So if there's anyone here that's like conversant with the topic, please feel free to speak. We would love that actually. So
Yeah, very helpful. That was very helpful. But hair care brand that does not cater to natural hair enthusiasts. So that means most likely they cater to women that like to wear wigs, women that like to do long, women that like to do braids. Because most times the braid look better when your hair is relaxed, so everything is laid down and all of that. So, and then most often you find that these women that like to wear wigs, like the wavy, bouncy, curly, all of that type wigs, most times either they are they could either be corporate women, so the corporate bodies, or they could be women that are creators, so they like to look good in their videos. Either they like to look good to go to work, or they like to look good to create content, or they like to look good to go for events. But these behaviors, or these touch points, is giving you more information about your target audience. So now you know that, of course, they are women, their gender is women, their location, if the business is one that's cannot service people outside the state where it operates. So you'd say women in Lagos aged 18 years or 19 years too. So, but aside from those broader factors that you've used to map down to define your target audience, you then come back to other specific behaviors, like what they are using the hair for, or which part of their lifestyle is driving the choice to go with these products. So, for example, now, corporate women, they have to look good, they have to look presentable, they go to work Monday to Friday, they need something that is easy to pull on, that's to put on rather, that makes them look good, makes them look presentable, makes them look smart, all of that. So now you know that your clients are working the corporate space. Then you also know that because they work in the corporate space, the kind of creators or blogs that they follow will be ones that also cater to that lifestyle. Say they'll most likely follow influencers that offer career advice, corporate advice, networking advice, all of that. They are less likely to follow certain kinds of blogs. Sorry. They are also less likely to be so engaged in online drama because 9 to 5s are not for the weak. Nobody has time to keep up with things that are not directly relevant or useful to them. So this just gives you information to have an idea, a clearer picture of who your audience is, how they are spending their time, what they find relevant and useful, which communities you will find them in, which online spaces you will find them in. And then this empowers you or positions you to know how to create content that will meet them exactly at their point of need, or content that will resonate with them, content that they're more likely to stop and engage with and comment on, or and share, or and save. Okay. So all of this to say that beyond your audience's age, gender, location, education, you should know more, have more information about them, like their interests, their lifestyle, their values, their opinions, their online activity, their purchase habits, their favorite platforms. All of this is what should influence the content you create to cater to your audience. So the next slide,
Okay,
step
so before
two. Oh,
next slide, sorry, I just
okay,
want it's been like 20 minutes, so I wanted to just ask if anyone has a question.
okay.
I'll pause for 1 minute before we continue. So if you have a question, please go ahead and ask, or you can just raise your hand and then I'll come to you. Oh, I'm gonna ask mine first. Okay,
Okay.
question from Morenike G. Morenike, please, when you unmute, tell me how to pronounce your name the correct way, but please go ahead.
That's fine. Good afternoon. My name is Marini Keji.
Okay.
Hi, Maureen. Hi, Maureen Ikeji. Good
Hi,
afternoon.
Blessing. Thank you so much for explaining step by step. My question is, okay, if you were pushing content strategy for a fashion brand,
Mm-hmm.
how can you know the kind of target audience? Because most fashion brands might think that their audience is on Instagram. They might
Mm-hmm.
not be willing to explore other platforms. So how can you first of all, how can you convince the fashion brand that you can check out other platforms? And also, how can you determine the target audience that the fashion brand, like the age range, or like you said, the demographics and the behavior of what is applicable to a fashion brand? I hope you understood the question I'm trying to ask.
Yes, I understood it. But
Thank you
can
very
you give
much.
more details on the fashion brand? Is it ready to wear? Do they have Ankara
Yes.
dresses? Okay, ready to wear.
It's yes, it's ready to wear, an Adire brand is ready to wear Adire brand. So
Okay.
that many people are going into creating all these boo styles for Adire brand. That's what
Mm-hmm.
is a bit trendy now.
Mm-hmm.
So how can you discover the target audience of a brand like that? Or what can you do to be able to discover the target audience of that brand? Thank you so much.
Okay, great. So now a fashion brand that has ready to wear Adire designs or Adire dresses or outfits. First off, what do people typically wear Adire for? Like, so in this case, is it like their Adire outfits, are they like casual outfits that they can wear for everyday stuff, like to run errands, to go somewhere, or like occasion outfits type?
I think if people are wearing this kind of adire, many people would not want to wear it for casual events, for
Mm-hmm.
casual things. They may want to wear it to like for church events, for
Mm-hmm.
hangouts, maybe like dinners or brunch or outings with their friends. They can wear it for family functions. They can wear it for maybe like gatherings, not necessarily concerts, but
Mm-hmm.
like all those afternoon kind of events, those kind of things. I think that's what the brand is trying to make the people like wear the adire for.
Okay. So what's the price points like? What's the price of the outfits like?
Like
Lowest
50K
price.
to 100.
50K to 100K.
Yes.
Okay. So are the outfits like modesty type outfits
Yes,
or just
yes, very
okay?
much, very
All of
much.
them are very modest.
Yes, yes, very much. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
They mostly come in pant sizes, boo and the up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Like in shirt forms, normal round
Two-piece
neck
sets.
size. Yes. Yes, it has
Okay.
skirts too. Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. So all of this information, the fact that the price range from 50K to 100K, the outfits are like more modest outfits type that are suitable for church, going out. All of this kinds of tells us that the target audience for this brand, of course, they are women, but they are also women that invest, that are open to investing in their wardrobe, to spending money on their outfits, buying quality outfits. And this also tells us that there are women that can afford to spend this much on outfits. They have more disposable income than the average person, and they're open to spending that much on clothes. So now this in turn tells us that they most likely have they're most likely financially stable, or a unisex brand. Okay. But the customer base, the target customers are most likely financially stable, so they can afford it. And being financially stable means they probably are business owners, or they have jobs, or they have work or jobs that pay them well, so in such that they have enough disposable income to afford these outfits. And then so now this tells you that these are people rather with more refined tastes. So the aesthetics half of the brand. So first of all, I do think that Instagram is the right platform, because aside from Instagram, you have Facebook, you have TikTok, you have LinkedIn, you have Pinterest. But Instagram is one of the most stable platforms that for a brand of this kind to reach its target audience and use social media to drive sales. So Instagram and TikTok, but Instagram. Because for Adire, people that Adire is there are people that do not like Adire is a refined taste, or is a conscious choice somebody's making. Like people don't just randomly buy Adire. Like it's you can some people don't even know the difference between Ankara and Adire. So for someone to know that they are consciously choosing Adire over any other fabric type, this is a conscious shopper. So like they are specifically drawn. They're not making random choices. This is to say that your audience is conscious of the choice they are making. And so um as opposed to like a t-shirt, as opposed to another brand that offers round neck shirts. Anybody can wear round neck shirts. Anybody can use it for different purposes. But Adire is a specific type of fabric, and people that buy it are making a conscious choice. They specifically want Adire, and they probably want it for the style, the heritage, because it's maybe they're Yoruba, or they just like Adire style, or they're in Lagos where a lot of people wear Adire and they fancy the style. But either way, they're making a conscious choice to pick Adire. So this tells you that obviously the target audience is not just everybody. So first of all, but if the price range is between 50K to 100K, these are financially stable people. These are people that have more disposable income to throw around. But these are also people that have refined tastes. So them having refined taste now means that you have to come correct with the presentation. And especially for a platform like Instagram that is very aesthetic and visually driven, like the pictures have to be high quality. there has to be some thought process, some creativity going into the product presentation. Like you do photo shoots, but it's not just about getting models to stand and rock the outfit. Like there has to be creativity. Um there has to be some premiumness attached, a premium feel that the brand is giving. Like when they come on the page, they should look like this is a page where I can comfortably send 100K, send over. If the price range is between 50K to 100K, that means if somebody wants to buy 2 outfits, it's there's a 50% chance that they'll be spending over 200K on just 2 outfits. So if someone is going to be comfortable or trust a brand enough, because because we spend a lot of time on social media, so I think sometimes we forget that we don't really know these people. Like if somebody blocks you, if a page blocks you on social media, that's all. That's it. Like and you've paid them for anything, the money is gone. Except maybe you have clout to be able to drag them to get your money back. But at the end of the day, like if you're coming online to sell expensive products or products that are not as affordable as other average products or other more popular products, you have to present yourself in a way, or present your brand in a way that builds trust, in a way that people come there and people see the page and the presentation, they feel comfortable to send that much money to you and trust that you will deliver. So aesthetics has to be on point. Branding has to be on point. It has to be consistent. It has to be cohesive. And it has to make sense. Like the tone, everything there has to be professionalism there. There has to be creativity there. There has to be things, just different elements that portray high quality or premium, give a premium vibe, so that people are comfortable with shopping with that page, or choosing that page, or sending money to that page. So yeah. So that's I think I lost my train of thought a bit. But to answer your question, or to continue to answer your question, you know that your audience are people that have money, and people that have money, people that have refined taste. And then also if it's a Adire unisex outfits, they're also fashionable. Yeah. Because a person that is spending that much money on Adire an Adire two-piece is not somebody that randomly throws on outfits. This is somebody that cares to look good, or they take pride in looking good, which also means that they most likely follow influencers or creators that create style content. And they also are most likely keyed into pop culture. By that, I mean they most likely follow reality shows like Bibi Naija, or they stay abreast with trends. They stay on their for example now when the Barbie versus Oppenheimer thing was trending, your audience was most likely following it. So if you had jumped on that trend to create content on it, it would have most likely resonated with them. Or yeah, Bibi Naija is also another good example. They most likely follow Bibi Naija content. So if you were to make a post of like how you would style different Big Brother Naija housemates, or different Big Brother Naija winners so far, that would most likely resonate with them. And to be creative enough to get their attention, and to also be a creative way for you to show off your outfits. But all of this is to say that a great way for this brand to win is Instagram is is a great platform. TikTok strong second, but Instagram preferably. And a great way for them to achieve their business goals, which is of course to drive sales, would be to come correct with their brand presentation, with their presentation on Instagram. Invest in creating high quality content, because you're selling high quality products, I assume, and the people you're selling it to are not people that can be easily fooled. They can tell when something is quality and when something is not. So you have to come correct online, and also be consistent, be creative also. And I think another thing that people miss, another mistake that people make with digital content is making it all about sales. Like nobody's coming online to be like sold to. Most times they are coming online to be entertained, or maybe sometimes to be educated, but not to be sold to. So if you as a brand wants to, there's a lot of attention online, and there's a lot of people online. If you want to get that attention, you have to decenter the sales. You have to make it more about your audience. Create content that is more relevant. Like create content from the POV of the customer, not from the brand. So a great example to really drive this point home is that if you're creating content from the POV of the brand, all your stuff is sales driven. All your post is come and buy this, buy this, buy that, buy this. But if you're creating from the customer's POV, you'll be creating content that is more relatable, more entertaining. Say for example, now if you wanted, let me use a reels. If you wanted to make
I'm sorry, let me just butt in to tell you that you have two more hands raised. So
okay.
yeah, there's two more questions. And then even
All
I
right.
have one, yeah. So
All right.
yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So I'll take them right after this example. So if you're
Okay.
creating content from the brand's POV and you wanted to post the reels, of course, if you, another thing is I think some people struggle with aesthetics. So let me just assume that you already get the aesthetics on point. Aesthetics mean like if it's a video, where would the video be shot? What will be in the background? What is the lighting arrangement like? What is the resolution or the quality of the video itself? And how good looking is the model? How much can your target audience relate to them? Is their makeup on point? Is their hair on point? All of that. So just assuming that you do get all of that on point and the presentation is on point, but you're creating from the brand's POV, you just most likely post that video and put a caption where you put the price or say DM for price, and you throw in some random hashtags and you throw in the name of the outfit. That's creative from the brand's POV. That is just posting that content so that people see that video and see that the dress or the outfit is for sale and see the amount, see the sizes available and all of that. That is creative from the brand's POV. If you are creative from the customer's POV, you would add a hook to the video, something that your audience will find relatable. Say, for example, instead of just posting the model in the outfit, you could add a hook that says, I'm going to XX, I'm going to a friend's, I'm going to my high school reunion or my university reunion. Which outfit should I wear? And then you show two outfits. So like now you have painted a scenario that is familiar to your target audience. They've most likely been in a situation where they had to go up to this social event where it was high stakes for them, and they wanted to come looking good, but still look good in a way where they were not trying too hard. Like these nuanced situations are things that are situations that your audience has been in before. And so if you use them as your video hook, they're more likely to stop and see, this is a problem I had in the past, see how you solved it, or just see, it just catches their attention because they can recognize it. It's a familiar situation to them, as opposed to if the video was just there without any hook and just sales-driven captions. So that's one thing to note. So let me take the two questions before we
continue. Okay. So we have Bemileke Anita of hand. Sorry, Bemileke, please you can go on.
Hi,
Hi.
good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so my question is, first, I work for a forex company and I'm a digital marketer and a content creator then. Although like I create content for them, but they have like videographers and editors that can edit the videos and all of that. So I'm currently handling their YouTube, their TikTok, and their Instagram. They have another person like an assistant also that handle the other social media, LinkedIn and Twitter and all of that. So when I got there, their YouTube was on 1K something. I can't really remember. So now it's now like 2K, I think 2K 121. And then their TikTok was on 200, now it's on 600 and something. But recently, I think as of yesterday, she was complaining, like my own marketing head, she was complaining that the TikTok is one-sided, meaning that I create content, I try to like make people be aware that okay, oh, this is our product and services, but in a fun way that people are constantly on TikTok and that kind of thing. So I thought that's what I should do, but she was complaining that is one-sided, meaning that like my face is everywhere. I also felt that, but I was also looking for a means of changing that up, because we have a sales department. I want to include every other person so that it won't just be only me creating the content, everybody else can be, but the sales department are always busy, they have targets and all of that. So I don't know a way, I don't know how to improve, without them in the video, in the content and all of that. And for the YouTube, it's going well, but it's really slow. When I first started, posting our content on the Instagram story and creating awareness for the YouTube that, oh, this YouTube video is up, you guys should go and watch, blah blah blah, and all of that. And then for the Instagram, I don't know, I think there was a problem with Instagram lately that our follower just started dropping. I don't know why. I just like today it can be 3,950, and before we wake up tomorrow morning it can be like it could have reduced to like 20, like 3,000, 3,920. And I'll be like, "Ah, what's going on?" So like, but now it's catching up, but it's everything is just moving so slow, and I don't know what to do.
Okay. Okay, great. Then I luckily that question kind of ties into the slide we are currently on, which is to know your objectives. So the importance of knowing your objective is because this is what will define your strategy. Like the objective is, what are you here to achieve at the end of the day? Do you want brand awareness? Do you want followers? Do you want people to buy the products? Do you want people to join your okay, do you want brand awareness? Brand awareness, like people knowing the brand, people knowing that this brand exists, knowing what the brand does, and having the brand at the back of their mind when they eventually need the service that the brand offers. Lead generation, that would be like growing your newsletter, or growing your community, or growing leads that you can eventually convert into customers at some point later on in your strategy. Or sales conversion, like are you here to sell right off the bat? Product promotion, are you here to promote the product, like maybe drive app, maybe it's an app, drive app downloads or signups or any of that? Are you here to engage your community? Maybe the brand is already a well-known brand, but they just don't have any digital presence, or they haven't built a community around their brand or their products. So is that the goal here? Or are you here to drive traffic to the website because all your sales can only really happen on the website? So now, in your case, what is the objective of the brand's digital strategy?
Mine is to create awareness and to drive traffic to our page. I mean, our social media handle, like to drive awareness to the people, like to our page and websites and everything.
Okay, so what do you want people to do after they find your page or your website?
To buy, to get an account, because the forex company, so you obviously will be interested in our product and services, everything.
Okay, so you want them to sign up?
Yes, sign up, and yeah.
So I think that would be
And
the lead
also,
generation.
I think more like my boss, what she wants is our followers, our followers, because we have sales departments who they call customers, like the salespeople is for them to call customers, make them to buy an account with us, make them to you know persuade them, that kind of thing. But I don't know, our own was to like, okay, have this social media presence where, okay, maybe we have a BOGO, we have sales, we have make them aware that, okay, this is what is going on, and YouTube to increase, I think she also, like what she said, she wants YouTube to be monetized also. So like she just, I don't know, I was trying to explain to her, but she doesn't just want to listen that, okay, this, we have to understand what we want to do here. Are we looking for customers or are we creating awareness? Because for me, it's more of like awareness that I'm trying to create for them, not just that, okay, oh, we just want to, we're using our platform. Yeah, we are using our platform to give them, okay, come and buy, but also create an awareness for them. So like I don't really.
Okay, sorry. Blessing, before you continue, so we have where the time is 3:47. We were supposed to go through the entire presentation, so I'm not for just you to decide, all of us together on the call. Are we would we prefer rather to go through everything and then we have the question and answers at the end of the class so that I don't keep you here longer than you want to, right? Or we take the questions now. So I suggest that so if you have a question, yeah, you can leave your hand raised for the entire time, or you can simply drop the question in the chat. I will still come back and call you to read it out so you get to speak. But I do think that we should go through, and the reason we should do that is because maybe some of the questions that we have now, we may see that when the presentation is done, some of them are answered, or we even feel better about speaking on another question. So I suggest we just go through the slides, and then in another 20 minutes, or let me see, in 15, I will remind Blessing that we have some questions to take. Lillian, I see your question. Iwa Lola, I know that you have your hand raised, and anybody else, you can just have your hand up. But let's go through the presentation so that we don't speak through the questions and then completely miss out on the rest of the masterclass. Okay. Thank you so much. Blessing, is
Okay,
that
okay,
good?
great.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I think that works. Okay, so on knowing your objectives, so let me reference when I was working with the influencer. So like I said, at the time she had 13K followers. Her name is Obis Ora, by the way. So you guys probably know her. You can check her out. She has great content. She still does do great content. And one thing that really worked, or that really empowered us for success, or positioned us for success, is that she knew exactly who she's talking to. So now she offers styling advice. If someone comes to you and tells you they offer styling advice, they want to help women look good, and they want to grow an audience on social media, you should ask them what kind of women. For Bisora, her target audience was so defined, and because it was so defined, we were creating content that really, really hit the nail on the head. So now her target audience were women, married women, not just married women who are interested in looking good despite all the responsibilities of wifehood and motherhood and business ownership and all of that. So you see, as much as the target audience is like women, of course, married women are not teenagers. So married women from their 30s, like the targeted audience is women, but within women 30s and above. So you've cancelled out university students, you've cancelled out people that are still young and unmarried or single women, and you've zeroed in on married women. Even in the married women, there are Muslim married women, there are Christian married women. Even in Christian married women, there are women that belong to different denominations that dictate their lifestyle and fashion choices. So all of this comes into account. Like all of these factors must and should be represented in the content you are creating. That is how when the person that the content was intended for sees the content, they immediately recognize it, and then they are more convinced to follow that account, to comment on that post, to share that post, to save that post. All of these are actions that you want your target audience to be taking. So now, because we knew who exactly our audience was, we were creating content that spoke specifically to the audience. We were creating scenarios that were familiar to the target audience. We were creating carousels that share tips and tricks that are specific to the situations of the target audience. For example, a young woman or an unmarried woman who wants to look good is not is not affected by the same factors as a married woman who wants to look good. And a married woman probably wants to look good for work, to look good at when she goes to the office, when she goes to events, when she just goes out her daily business. But for the married woman's case, she has other factors. She has to think of when she wakes up in the morning. Of course, she has to think of taking care of her kids first, giving them a bath, feeding them, dressing them up, doing all of those, making sure that the home and all of that is in place. And then of course they're just other they're just different scenarios or different situations or different factors that are very pronounced in a married woman's life that do not apply at all, that are not relevant at all to a single person. And these differences, like these small differences in behavior, in lifestyle, in choices, are like the things that you really zero in on when you're creating content for your audience. So now we knew who exactly our target audience were. You now think of it, what do you want them? What do you want from your target audience? That's the objective part. In her case, we wanted to build an audience, we wanted to build a community. That by building an audience, that just build followers, get her as many followers as possible, so that she can then sell digital products to her followers. Then digital products were webinars, online challenges, mostly webinars and online challenges. So the webinars would tackle different pain points that the audience has. But of course, first of these people have to know that she exists online and that they should follow her and that they're going to get value from following her. So we're creating a lot of content around tips, tricks. We're also showing off, of course, her own fashion, her own outfits, her own and just as proof that what she's even asking these women to do is achievable. Because a lot of married women, or not a lot of, but some married women do not prioritize that part because they feel like that's not necessary or that's not needed, or they could put that time and effort and money to better use in their opinions. So just all these factors were things that we cited, we referenced, we used to create content, and that made the content resonate with her target audience. And so whenever so the algorithm that means that when we put out a post, there's high engagement. And if a post is getting high engagement from a particular kind of people, the algorithm is more likely to show that content to more people, like those initial people that are engaged with the post. And so the person's audience is growing like that, just organically, because they are doing the right things online. So yeah, we knew her objectives, and we're creating content that is tailored to that. So now let me give you one other example on how that will really drive this point home. Say, for example, if the person is a coach now, okay, she was a coach, a style coach, so going on with this. So now, but then another funny thing is, at the time when I worked with her, this was in 2019 to 2020, the algorithm or the content formats had changed. As at then, we didn't have reels on social media, on Instagram. We mostly had carousels and single posts. And then videos videos on Instagram were mostly done in landscape and not portrait, now that we're accustomed to reels and portrait type videos. So now, if I was going to refine that strategy to fit today's algorithm or the way Instagram works today, we would do a lot more reels. Then we did a lot of carousels, but now we'll do a lot more reels. And if the goal was lead generation, we'll do a lot of reels for lead generation. We'll do like if you've paid attention, if you go to the reels, another really good thing to do is to be intentional about consuming good content. Like, pay attention to the content to the posts on social media that gets a lot of likes or a lot of shares or a lot of comments, and note why people found this post so engaging. Was it the hook? Was it the way it was written? Was it the language? Was it the content of the video? Was it the way it was shot? Was it even the length? So now one thing that is proven sort of is that short videos, like 6-second reels on Instagram, they really work if you're doing lead generation and if you're offering some kind of coaching service. So it could be like a 6-second reel using a trendy or catchy sound with a hook that speaks to the audience's pain points, and then you tell them to get more information in the caption. Or you could put some of the information on the hook as well, and then this way they just stay, because the video is short. It means in like 5 seconds, the entire video has finished playing and then it starts in afresh. So they just stay there reading the hook, reading the long caption, and spending more time watching that video. If you look at the insights on Instagram or your post, Instagram also shows you the watch time. I think, yeah, I think it's called watch time, or just the amount of time people spent on watching that video. And the higher it is, the more the algorithm will show it to more, because this tells the algorithm that people like this content. So also, by the way, algorithm is not like something that is so complicated and also complex that you need years and years to understand. Algorithm just means how that social media how that social media platform shows content to the people on the platform. Because, like Instagram is not creating content, it's other people, it's creators, it's influencers, it's like me and you that is creating content that is drawing people to Instagram. So Instagram is going to prioritize content that people are finding engaging. So if your account is creating content that is making people come to the app or stay on the app, the algorithm will show your content to more people because they want more people to come on the app and stay on the app. So that's just algorithm just means like presenting your content in a way that the people on that platform will find it engaging or relevant or useful, such that the algorithm now like understands that this account or this content is great. It's content that will keep people on the platform or bring people to the platform, and it shows it to more people. So that's why you should really pay attention to posts that are doing well, just to note what they got right. And also pay attention to posts that are not doing well, so you avoid the things that they did there. If you check out reels that don't do well, most times it's either the video is very low resolution, or the hook is very long, there's a lot of text on it, or there's just no aesthetic cohesiveness to what is being presented. And you see that most times these kind of videos don't do well. Okay, so that's it for the knowing your objectives. So the overall point of knowing your objectives is because that is what will define your strategy. Your strategy is a way to get you to your objective. So if your objective is lead generation, your strategy will be different than if your objective was, say, brand awareness or product promotion or sales. Okay, and then next, step 3 is to know your platforms. There are a lot of digital platforms. There's blog, there's email marketing, there's social media. And even in social media, there are different social media platforms that cater to different people with different interests, with different engagement styles. There's TikTok, there's Instagram, there's LinkedIn, there's X, there's Discord. There's a ton of them. But knowing your objective and knowing the kind of brand or the kind of service you offer is what will help you pick the right platform that matches your brand and that matches what you're trying to achieve. Okay. And then step 4, know your content pillars. So most often people for content pillars, examples that are given are the most cited examples are educational, inspirational, promotional, entertaining, which is good. But in my experience, or after doing this for a while, I think I found that the content pillars that really drive action or drive results, content that is relatable, content that is educational, and then content that is promotional. But the way that the promotional content is executed has to be creative, and has to be creative, and there should be some kind of storytelling injected into it. So now for relatable content, that's like I cited earlier, pop culture content. So like the goal is that the reason why pop culture is such a great touch point with content is that pop culture, that's popular culture, that's basically what people are talking about, what people are familiar with. Like now, for example, if you ask anybody what's up with if you ask anybody about, a lot of people have an opinion about Vicky James and her brand and what she's doing and the content she's creating, because they are aware of it, because it's popular in the moment. When Lagos Fashion Week is on, a lot of people are aware of it because it's popular in the moment. When Big Brother Nigeria is on, a lot of people are aware of it. When UEFA Champions League or the football people, when their season is on, same thing. We don't need to hear word for them because everybody's aware of it. So like when the Barbie premiere and all of that was on, everybody was aware of it because that's pop culture. So you, as a brand, like that gives you like a really, really good loophole to key into to get some of that attention for yourself. Like join, but don't see it as coming to drag attention with what is trending, but see it as joining the conversation in a way that brings eyes to your brand or to your content. So like I mentioned earlier, if you was doing Big Brother Niger season, you could, and it was a fashion brand, you could do styles, you could do how you would dress different Big Brother Niger housemates. Or if it was like a style or a personal development coach type person, the person could analyze, this might be more intrusive, but the person could analyze the strategies that the different housemates are bringing and highlight their what makes it so good or what makes it so bad, or even predict based on their expertise. And then that's a way to key into what is popular to get attention or to draw eyeballs to what they're offering, or the service or their brand that they're trying, or the brand they're trying to build or project on social media. So relatable content is like keying into pop culture, putting out funny content that's using memes. Thankfully now, memes are not the only way to execute funny content. You can also use funny trending sounds. Like, for example, I think what's something that's trending now? There's this trend, and there's this nothing is coming to mind, but there's almost always every other week there's a funny trending sound that's trending. So keying into it, like create content with that, but in a way that aligns or in a way that relates to your business. Not that it should all be okay. I think I want to like really give a strong example on this because I see people doing it, but then not doing it in the right way. Like everything is just so everything is just so nuanced here, for lack of a better word. Let me just say that. So for example, now if you're going to use a funny sound as a brand, like say as a fashion brand, and you say something like okay, that sound, when that sound was, when they remove it sharp sharp, I think it's still trending now, Seth. And we see people creating content with it. But then if you now say, when my customer tells me XXX, and you now say remove it sharp sharp, like that's a joke, all right, but is it funny? Is it really funny? Okay, I think, yeah, like ask before you even post it, like ask, is this really funny? Like if you are not if you are not the owner of the brand, would you find this funny? So it's important to use those sounds in ways that are truly creative, not just about like forcefully infusing or forcing the humor, but it should be genuinely funny and genuinely relatable, and not 100% about the brand.
Okay, sorry, let me just cut you a little bit. So we're 4 minutes past the time. We're supposed to stay till 4. I apologize, everyone, that we've done that. Yeah, so maybe we can do, and please, I'd like us to agree that we'd be able to round up in, say, like 10-15 minutes. So that way we're leaving by like 4:15. Yes, so I just wanted to say that. Thank you, everyone, and I apologize once again. I think it's because we have a lot to say, and we still have a lot to say. So maybe when we wrap up, then we can like really speak and answer our questions.
All right. Yeah. All right. So relatable content, pop culture, funny relatable content, just content is designed to entertain the audience and humanize the brand. And then educational content, like sharing tips and tricks, or just trying to build. So the people that will most likely excel with educational content is, and also another thing to notice is that not all the content pillars don't apply to all the brands or all services. So if it was a coaching service, for example, like the style influencer I worked earlier, obviously she has to do a lot of relatable content, educational content, because she's trying to build herself, to position herself as an authority, as someone that is credible, as someone that her target audience should be learning from and should be paying money to learn from. So there should be a lot of educational content there, stuff that is insightful, stuff that when people read it or engage with it, it like teaches them something or opens their eye or enhances or expands their perspective in a different, new, exciting way. So definitely educational content works a lot for anybody that is, for a brand or a person that is offering that's offering coaching services, that is offering educational services, like maybe a a career influencer, someone that creates a lot of content around career growth, personal development, just all of that in the personal development niche, and then relatable content that would be really great for people that that have lifestyle products like hair stuff, fashion stuff, um, event stuff, just lifestyle products or services. And then promotional content. This is great for also people that have products. So promotional content, I said creative product tutorials, reviews, testimonials, high quality product videos. So now, especially on TikTok, even on Instagram too, there are a lot of accounts that are coming up that are now like that are sort of redefining the way we do product videos. Like you see them, you see the video and the quality is crisp. Like everything is so clear, so high quality, so aesthetically pleasing, so and presented in such a creative way. Maybe it could be they're using ASMR techniques, so that there's just no sound except from the sound that's going on. So, for example, now a brand that does that makes shoes, and they could just make a video that captures the process of making the shoes, and the video is done, is executed and edited in such a way that once immediately that thing comes on your page, your FYP or your once you just happen on the video, you're compelled to watch it till the end, either because the visuals are so clear or the sound is so good, or there's just some elements there's just something going on in the video that grabs your attention to the end. That didn't happen by chance. It wasn't random. There was a lot of thought that went into creating that video so that it appears, so that it was presented the way it was presented, and it caught you and kept your attention the way it did. Most like they either probably invested in really good equipment, so like really sharp cameras, which an iPhone can also offer. So like when I say invest in equipment, don't think of it as setting aside millions of budgets to buy equipment. An iPhone is perfect. It can do most of what you need as regards to creating content for social media. That's why mobile videography is now, we're seeing a rise in mobile videography as a niche and as a service. So just most of it, or half of the battle, a huge percentage of the battle is won when you have a good phone, a good equipment, a good content creation equipment, which most times is a phone, a good iPhone. So that's it for promotion. And then aside from the high quality product videos, you can also do product tutorials, like show the audience in a creative way. Of course, don't just show up and be like, this is my product, this is how to use it. No one cares, to be honest, except you have presented in a way that will make them care. So show them creative ways to use the product, or maybe sometimes the product itself is a creative product. And so showing them how to use it is already like a creative, showing them something that they've not seen before, or showing them something truly innovative or disruptive. And then reviews. But again, the way the reviews are presented is also what will make or break it. Like say, yeah, reviews and testimonials. It's nice to do like a carousel of maybe like a what people are saying about our brand type carousel. That's a great way to share reviews. If you're able to make videos with the customers, say for example, the person that's working with a forex brand, if you're able to get some of your clients or customers, I'm not sure what the product is, but if you're able to get some of the people that have used the service or the product that the company is offering and got the results they were looking for, if you're able to get them in a video to talk about their experience, talk about how that product changed their lives, or what the success has helped them achieve, that's a great way to execute product reviews and testimonials in a way that will capture your audience's attention when they see a real person that looks or sounds like them, or that has the problem that they had, talking about how your products help them go from point A to B, or how your service helped them go from point A to B. Like it shouldn't be, of course, like I think one of the mistakes that people make with this is like giving the customer something very scripted, where they're using big words that nobody really uses in everyday conversation. That's one way to break that, but to really make it like, let the language be simple. Let them talk like the normal human beings that they are, instead of giving them something very scripted and very stoic that just uses a lot of ChatGPT grammar. So that's it for content pillars. So now we're nearing the end of the presentation. As you can see, next thing is Q&A. So now key things to note: brand voice and storytelling. It should be consistent. Brand voice is like how your brand sounds. Like, do you come off as friendly? Do you use is the language or is the tone more relaxed, or is it very professional? And another thing that should so the brand voice is not something random. There's also a method to arriving on a brand tone and voice that works for you. And this depends on the service you're offering or the kind of brand you are. Obviously, for the style influencer, she has to come off as approachable, she has to come off as friendly, so that the audience sees her as like this more experienced or expert friend that they can learn from, as opposed to if it was like, say, a bigger company with like a bigger brand. They have to come off as professional, and so the tone has to be professional. The tone has to convey their expertise, their credibility, like show that they are like, this is a reputable brand, or this is a respectable brand that delivers on quality and that they should do business with. So this is just to say that the service or the type of brand, type of service influences the brand voice to a very great extent. So now when you've picked the right brand voice, or you figured out the right brand voice to go with, it should be consistent. Like the way you sound in your emails, in your email newsletter, should be the same way you sound in your SMS. If you ever have a need to send your customers SMS, should be the same way you sound in your captions, should be the same way you sound when you show up in videos. It should be the same person. Like when they see your page on, or when they interact with your content on Instagram, it should not be this very stiff professional voice, and then when they go to email or when they go to TikTok, it's not like it's an entirely different person they're dealing with, or different brand they're dealing with. No, that's not good practice. It's great to be consistent with the brand voice, and then use authentic storytelling so that your brand is memorable. So that's, and on the storytelling bit, if there are a lot of brands offering, most times there are a lot of brands already existing in our industry, but storytelling is one way that brands differentiate themselves from competitors, because that's how you show off the brand's personality. That's how you you get the audience to remember you in a different way than they remember your competitors. And the next thing, SEO and optimization. So for this one, it's again, like I mentioned earlier, there should be a method to everything you're doing on social media or on digital platforms. So SEO, that's search engine optimization, is just basically tips and tricks that you use to optimize your content or your brand showing up when people are searching for brands or services in that niche. That's search engine optimization. So for example, if you're writing blog pieces, a great way to optimize that content so that when your target audience is searching for that content, the platform that they are searching for it on offers up your content in response to their search. So of course, first off, you have to create content that people are searching for. So create content around actual problems that people have. Don't assume that because it's a problem for you, it's a problem for other people. So create content around actual problems. How do you know what is an actual problem for people? A great way to do that is to check comment sections of your competitors, and we'll check out what your competitors are doing and that is working for them. That's how you know that, oh, this is an actual problem in this industry, or this is an actual problem in this niche. And if I created content around this, it would be a lot of people will find it relevant and useful, and they'll be searching for it, and then this content will come up when they search for it. So that's just one way to find actual problems that you can create content around. And then analytics and feedback. So the analytics part is basically tracking the insights on what you're doing. Like from time to time, go open the insights on Instagram or on whatever platform you're on and take a look at it. And not just take a look at it, record it on a weekly basis is what I advise. Like say every Sunday or every Monday, you record what the engagement was for the past week, so that by the time you're doing it on a week-to-week basis, you're able to monitor and identify what exactly is giving you, like the content that is performing well and the one that is not performing well. And then this then in turn means that you do more of what is performing well and less of what is not performing well. So it's very good to monitor it on a week-to-week basis. Of course, month-to-month is great, but week-to-week really gives you like helps you zero in on what exactly worked. Which post was it that like got people that a lot of people really shared, that a lot of people commented on, that a lot of people liked, and then do more of that, do more stuff in that style. Like maybe use those kinds of hook or those kinds of content formats. Is it carousels? Is it reels? Is it single post? Is it long captions? Is it short captions? Is it this kind of subjects or that? Just all those different factors. It's by analyzing your performance that you will be able to find zero in on them and do more of what's working and less of what's not working. Then observe what's working for other brands. It's very good. You're not it's very good from time to time take a look at other brands in the same industry and see what they are doing and how it's working for them. So you're not just it's good to not just check out what is working, also check out what is not working, so that you're learning from their mistakes and not repeating the same mistakes that people are already doing in your industry. So observe what's working for other brands and don't copy verbatim, be inspired by it. It's very possible to want to see something and not copy it, but instead be inspired to do something similar. Yeah. And then don't be scared to experiment. So by experiment, I mean like just because you're doing one style or one style is what you're familiar with up until then, doesn't mean that that's the only style you should ever be doing. So every time you're working with a new brand or anything, you force it to enter that style that you're comfortable with. Say, for example, I didn't start when I started in this niche or in this field, I didn't know how to make, shoot, or edit videos. But now I do. Now I'm so good at it, and it's so effortless for me because I dared to experiment. So just try and experiment with different type of videos, different write your scripts, your video script in a different way, shoot your video in a different kind of background. Like just or talk about something more daring, more exciting. Just be experimenting because that's how you can discover new ways to do things or new ways or better ways to do something. Don't be stuck in a comfort zone or in a loop of this works and I'm going to stick with it. And also because even the social media platforms are changing. 3 years ago, or even 4 years ago, we didn't have reels. Now reels are like, if you're not doing reels on Instagram, you will not be getting as much engagement as is possible on the platform. So don't be scared to experiment. And then finally, know that it's a long-term commitment. Don't expect virality immediately. It might take a while, but be consistent and be committed to it. So it's not something that you just do on one post. It's something that you do throughout the entire lifestyle of the marketing or the product or the brand throughout it's not a one-off thing. It's a process, it's a journey, and it's a long-term commitment. So now we can take questions.
Okay, thank you so much, Blessing. Thank you. I know that we've learned a lot, and we also have a lot of questions. I know that Iwa, sorry, so let me just go through so I know that I'm calling your name right.
Okay.
If you had a question before and your hand up, you can raise it now so that I can. Yes, Jessica, I see you. Yes, and Iwalola as well. So you can go ahead and ask, and then after you've both asked your questions, I would then read the ones from the message so that we can all hear the answers together, and we can then round up. Thank you. So, Iwalola, you can go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Blessing, for this session. Really enlightening. Thank you for putting this together. Okay, so my question is, so what would you advise for someone for someone who's growing a business brand? It's a bit different, like if it's like an individual brand, or like if it's an individual, but for someone who is growing like a business brand and there is absolutely nothing on social media for the person. So the business is like starting out and you want to like grow followers, increase engagement. What would you say like are the best practices for that?
Okay. This entire thing. So start from the beginning. The beginning being know your audience. So it's a brand, but who is the audience for the brand? Who is the end user for this thing that the brand is offering? Who needs this? Who is not just who needs this, who is willing to pay for it? who needs it immediately, like just who is going to find this relevant. So know them, know their lifestyle, know their interests, know their know the factors that define them or that separate them from other people, and then pick the platform that they are most conversant on. Can you give me more details on the brand in question, please?
Yeah, so it's an electric vehicle,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Electrical vehicle. Yeah.
Okay, so they sell electric vehicles.
Yes.
Okay, okay, great. So obviously this is a high-end brand. Electric vehicles are way more expensive than normal petrol fueled vehicles. So yeah, so you have to. So obviously this is a high-end brand, so you have to come correct. You have to really invest in high quality visuals. So take a look at. So don't say no. Take a look at other successful electric vehicle brands like Tesla, and even aside from them, to other high-end vehicle brands, and see how they are presenting themselves on social media, what kind of content they are doing, and what kind of content they're putting out on social media, and how their audience is responding to it. So you can get some ideas from that. But if the product is high end, then the presentation has to be high end as well, because your audience is going to be turned off by anything that implies low quality. This could be low quality pictures, low quality videos, bad grammar, grammatical errors. You just have to come correct if you're trying to target a high end audience. And then another thing is, where sometimes I see business accounts in some blog comment sections chatting like just engaging in very funny behavior, and that's such a turn off for potential, especially if you're targeting a refined audience or like a conscious audience or a high-end audience. But that'll be of course much later after the brand has established their digital presence. But Instagram is a great platform. Even TikTok could be a great platform for the brand, but just take some time to do some research about what works in that industry. Like check out similar brands that are doing well on social media and take notes from what they are doing that they're getting right, and and aside from taking note of what they are doing that they're getting right, you can go through the comments to see what their audience is asking for that they have not done, like to find loopholes. You can also get that information from going through the page yourself. Like you can just assume you're a customer and go through the page and note down what is missing here that your own brand can come into feel.
Okay, thank you, Blessing. So we have Jessica next, but I also wanted to call our attention to the fact that before we continue the class, we were speaking with Bemileke on her question for the Forex brand. So maybe that's something that we can come and revisit.
Okay.
Yeah, so Jessica, please go ahead and ask your question.
All right, hi. Thank you so much on all the information so far. It's been really great. I did not have any prior experience before getting the job as a content strategist for a startup media company, and so far so good. I mean, it's just been 3 months. No, sorry, it's been about 4. Yeah, 4 or 5 months since I started, and I sometimes stay in for the social media manager whenever maybe they fire the social media manager, or where they prefer I could handle a specific social media page. So my question is this. I've done the whole groundwork, looking at our competitors. What are they doing? What are they not doing? What can we replicate? And all of that. And it still feels like, very not stagnant, but the pace is very, very slow. We have very high quality content, and we're talking camera, like camera level, not even phones. Camera content, we're putting content out every single day. We are targeting this content. We've not done ads. We've never done ads before. We are having new shows, a YouTube page, all of that, and it still feels like we are quite stagnant. I had started to blame the fact that I didn't have prior experience. I had not done anything. They just hired me for that role because of my personal page as a content creator, and how I was able to contribute very well to their content ideas. So Basically, what I'm asking is, in this kind of a situation, a media company, for example, just imagine a mix of cracks, TVs, the cocoa, all of that in one box.
Mhm.
If you were to take up that position and you feel like the company could do so much better in the aspect of their socials and their reach, what would you do next? Because I feel stuck. We've not yet done ads, yes, true, but I feel for the kind of content we have, we should be able to, do well organically outside of ads. So what would you advise?
Okay. So what kind of content? What's the service that the startup offers? What's the product the service the startup offers?
Well, it's a media company basically. So it's not they have a TV aspect and then a media aspect where they, shoot commercials or make videos for people or brands, businesses who can make their own videos themselves. So it's like a cinematography kind of company. Yeah. But most of the content we're putting out is on their TV, which is, like as I said, a mix of Crack TV, Zikoko. They have a show named Buzz Bites, and this kind of show is where they put together everything that's happened in a week, like delivering the news, but in like super fun, exciting way. They have a show like that. They have another show called Next Binge where they talk about movie recommendations for people, and they put a full video on YouTube, and then they divide snippets to put on all other platforms every week to direct people to the YouTube. The aim is to monetize YouTube and to be able to monetize their content. But so far, for the past 5 months, they've not been able to achieve that yet. But
Okay,
they're
and then,
growing, but very slowly.
okay. Okay, so what kind of the kind of they've been putting together? They've been putting out content in line with the binge series and the news roundup type content.
Yes, those are the two shows they have.
So how are people reacting to that? People are not engaging at all.
Yes, people are not really engaging as much, except for if it's like really, really pop culture kind of news, like maybe when we post about Bobrisky or when we post about something that is really trending at the moment. But that's the only aspect of the news they respond to. Every other thing that maybe we're talking about, maybe fuel hike or this that happened in a week, they don't, except it's something just super duper popular. We're always having high engagement on Bobrisky's post. We're always having high engagement on, certain, very, very certain posts that doesn't reflect on the other aspects of that particular episode we're putting out. I don't know if
Okay,
I
can
was
you
able
tell
to.
me the name so I can check out the page?
Okay, it's Cinevast.
Okay, but if that is not information that you're comfortable sharing, you
Oh, yeah.
No,
can.
no, no, I'm
Yeah.
very, very share
Yeah.
actually. Very happy to
Okay.
share.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
So
So
it's Cinevast TV,
CI. Uh-huh.
CINEVER
Okay.
SE, then underscore, I think two underscores, then TV.
Oh wow. Okay. So underscore TV. Did I spell it wrong? Cinema. Okay, yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, yeah.
We original authentic.
So for the past couple of months, they've been running this news kind of show named the Buzz Bites. They talk about the most popping thing that happened in a week and put it all into one video. And then just like 2 days ago, they put out their next show, which is Next Binge. They haven't really done anything on Next Binge. So basically, most of the content on the page right now has been Buzz Bites for the past 4 months.
Okay. So I've seen them, and right off the bat, I would say one thing I'm seeing that's maybe the reason why this content is not doing as well.
Mm-hmm.
The the way the reels are made, where they're
The
inside a
color,
template. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
not sure that works for Instagram. It should just be the person's face filling of the screen as normal. And then there should be hooks. There should be hooks.
hooks.
Videos without hooks. Like hooks is what's like when people are scrolling, the hook is like what will tell them right off the bat if this is content they want to engage in, or if this is content that they find useful or that relates to them, or that they should watch till the end. So for example, now I wish I could play out one of the videos. Let me play one of the videos. There should be hooks, yeah. One thing I would recommend you guys add to the content is to add hooks. And then also, like, I'm kind of confused, even from the way you've described this brand now. I understand that you do you do cinematography. That means you offer that as a service for other people.
Yeah,
I can
but
hire you
there's
to
a
make a video
separate
for me.
yeah, there's a separate page for that.
Okay. Okay, then that
Yes.
should not, that should, I think the bio should be changed.
All
The
right.
changed to reflect that. Like, is this a news page, or is it a page that I can hire to create content for me? That should be clear. Like, if you go on Zikoko's page, it's clear that it's pop culture. It's clear it's even clear what the kind of person that will find this kind of pop culture relevant. So that's one
Mhm.
thing. And then also I see that the quality is good. The quality is good, but I would do away with that template just to see if
Template,
there's a
right.
difference, and then add hooks. And then also so now for Zikoko now, like Zikoko does, they don't do every kind of news. Although I see that they have series that cater to different kinds of news, like there's series for politics, there's series for women, there's series for finance and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end, it's presented in a way that the audience finds engaging. For example, Zikoko is quite popular, but even as popular as it is, my dad doesn't know about Zikoko and will most likely never know about Zikoko. And will most likely never engage with Zikoko because he not like that is not the space for him. He's not their target audience. But I find Zikoko interesting. I'm sure all of us here on this call find Zikoko interesting, but there are other people that don't because that's just not what they're interested in. And either because the content is not something that relates to them or the presentation is too much for them. It's too liberal for them because sometimes Google does they do like they go hard with on content that is very unconventional that the older generation might find off-putting. So that's just to say that the kind of news, like there has to be some essential theme that is guiding the kind of content you are doing, that also like makes it easy for the people you are creating that content for to immediately understand that this is the space for them. Like, so the news, even if you're doing say political news, there should be a difference in the way you're doing it, and that difference should be something that your audience that resonates with your audience. Maybe it could be the way you explain it, like the language you use to explain it, or the examples you use to drive it home, or how simplified it is, or even like the specific type of political news that you find engaging. But if your audience is not, if you've been doing this for months, for like 5 months, and the audience is still not engaging, there's a problem. You've missed a step. Either you've not defined your audience enough, or you've defined it enough, but you're not creating the content that they find useful, or you're not presenting it in a way that the social media platform will project it to more people. Like Instagram, for example, aside from the fact that the video has to be high quality, Instagram doesn't like when the video has what's this watermarks from other brands. Say for example, if there's a CapCut watermark there, or if there's a TikTok watermark there. It also doesn't like when like the format of the video, like it should be reels, like full screen. Like when you're scrolling, when you go to the Reels Explore, all the videos that you see there, those videos are performing well. And there's a reason why they're performing well. Like you see the dimensions, like it fills up the screen. Say for example, look at this one, and this is my Explore page. Like the videos fills up the screen. I don't know if you guys can see it, but all these videos fill up the screen. There's no template, there's no box, there's no nothing. It's just a person looking at the camera, high quality, engaging, like yeah, like that. So just consider doing away with the template and incorporating hooks. But even in the hooks, please make the hooks very creative and relatable. Don't just do write a hook for the sake of writing a hook. Put some thought into it. Like go back and pay closer attention to the other media companies that are doing really well, and note down, like write down like at least 3 key things that you can, as an outsider, you can see and tell that this is why people are liking this content. And then also put yourself in the position of the person you're creating the people you're creating the content for, and ask yourself what you would find useful. Is it the same thing you have been putting out? If it's not, then make the changes accordingly.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Blessed, and thank you, Jessica. So I think that for the longer questions, maybe we can take them, possibly like maybe have them, I don't know, if you'd like to exchange contacts, I'm pretty sure that you can arrange that and then you can speak, about it. So it's sort of like an ongoing conversation, and if you need help and all of that. That's just a suggestion, so that if you don't
Yeah,
want to have a conversation, yeah, that's okay too. If you stayed on the call this long, you very, very much. I know that society today, attention is very, very short. And then we also have a lot of commitments on the weekend. So I really appreciate you staying so far. Content strategy is a very broad topic. So I think maybe that's why we've spent more time here than we would do for, say, the last class. But I appreciate you staying so far. Thank you. Before we continue, I'm going to read out the questions from the chat box. But I wanted to just, if you did come in late on the call, I wanted to say that this masterclass is brought to you by Old Haven. So, do come join us when you have the time. And we'll be very happy to receive you at our space. It's for women only. So if you have conversations like this that you want to have in person, you're welcome to come. So the first question is from Lillian Williams. She says, how can you get followers on Instagram without having to pay for it? It's hard for people to engage. And then 2, posting from a laptop, does it reduce the quality?
Okay. So, sorry, but are you done talking?
Yes, that's the question, yes.
Okay. Sorry. So the first one, paying, I strongly advise against paying for followers, because buying followers, that's how most times you see an account with like 100k followers and then the posts are getting like 8 likes, 0 comments. That's very unusual. That defies all logic. So I strongly advise paying for followers. It's better to grow your followers organically. You can run ads and put following as a CTA, but to buy followers, that's I strongly advise against it. It's very possible to grow followers organically, even on Instagram and on TikTok as well. So for now, so that's number one. People are not engaging because they're not finding the content useful or relatable or relevant for them. That's simply why people are not engaging. Don't take it so personal or be so emotional about it that you then cannot think strategically about it. If people are not engaging, it's simply because they don't find it useful, they don't find it relevant, they don't find it engaging. That's literally it. And how to fix that? Go back and refine your target audience and make your content more engaging, more relevant to them. Like step out from the shoes of the brand, like step out from the POV of the brand and like go through that page as someone that is just finding the page or as your ideal audience. If you were not the person that was creating content on that page, would you be liking those posts? Would you be sharing those posts? Would you be commenting on them? Like ask yourself those questions, and most likely the answer is no. Then like tweak it accordingly. Like create content that people will genuinely find attractive or not attractive, engaging, and check out. I'm going to reference these 2 points a lot because that's a great way to start. Like checking out what is working for other brands that offer the same service as you, and being objective about reviewing what you are putting out. If you are not the one that created that content, would you like it? Would you engage on it? Would you comment on it? Would you share it? The share part is, I think sharing is one of the most critical metrics to track, because for someone to share something, it means like they really, really, really liked it. So if you are seeing content that you share, like that means that content, like you found it so engaging, you found it so useful, you found it so relevant that you felt other people have to see this. So ask yourself about the content that you have been putting out. Just know that it's very possible to grow an audience organically. Very, very possible. You don't have to buy followers. It's not a good practice to buy followers. Then posting from a laptop. Sorry, just the last bit of our question.
Yeah.
Posting from a laptop. No, it doesn't. If you're using platforms like scheduling platforms like Sprout and Facebook Creator Studio, you have to post from a laptop. So that doesn't reduce the quality at all, except if no, it doesn't reduce the quality. Why would you? It doesn't reduce the quality. In my experience, it hasn't reduced the quality.
Okay.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Blessing. Before I read out the next question, I want to comment on something, both as a consumer of content on the internet, and as someone who works in marketing to create content as well. That somebody is not engaging your content doesn't mean that you've primarily failed.
Yeah.
I mean, like, obviously, you want to then go back and review your strategy, but if your consumers are people who don't engage content and they don't, for instance, it's very unlikely for me to comment on anything on Instagram or anywhere in the world. If I leave a comment on something, that means I like the person. They're like my personal friend. So I want to gas them up. Like how maybe your babe writes and posts something, you say, my girl, come and marry me, my wife, But like that you did something on your business page. So I want to come and say, well done. It's very unlikely, but it doesn't mean that the eyes aren't on the content. So when you go through, say, the insights, you can see how long somebody stayed on your reel. Did they watch it to the end? Did they stay for 5 seconds? That way you can determine whether someone likes the content. I just wanted to, add that to say that the obvious engagement, well done, isn't necessarily the biggest factor for whether people are seeing your content. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, absolutely. Thank you for adding that.
So Choma Moses has a question. She says, I love your digital marketing experience. It's blessing. How can I be as good as you are and employable? But I also have a follow-up question. And Choma, no, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you. She says, how do I get more trainings to be so good in digital marketing and advertisement, content creating? Blessing. The reason why I'm laughing is because I also asked Blessing this question. So I'm happy that you're validating. Yeah.
Okay, so luckily, digital marketing is like one of the easiest fields to learn. I think you should have that at the back of your mind. Don't think of it as this very complicated and complex thing that you have to spend years and years on. You can learn it very easily. Like, this is not what I studied in school. I literally learned from following some creators when I started out, and then watching YouTube videos, taking notes. That's really how to learn, and practicing too. So you learn by doing, but you also learn by watching. Thankfully, like, another lucky thing to note about this field is that there are examples everywhere. Like when you're online, you're engaging with content that somebody created, put some thought into it, created it, presented it like in a way that grabbed your attention, and you watched it to the end. So like you are seeing it in action. You are seeing other people do it. It's not like things like say medicine or surgery where if you can only watch the surgeon perform his surgery when you're with him in the operation room. No, with digital marketing or digital content strategy, you're online, you're seeing it, you're seeing how people are doing it, like you're watching it in action, so you can learn from that. So you just have to like be more strategic with the way you consume content online. Like instead of just being online to see posts and laugh and haha and comment and share, no, like think more strategically about it. Like think about how this post was presented to you, how the caption was written, how the hook was written. Like Instablog and Cracks TV, sometimes they post the same content, but they post it differently, and they get different kinds of engagements. Like some people follow Cracks TV, but they'll say that they cannot be found in an Instablog comment section, but they're in Cracks TV comment section. And sometimes these two accounts post the same thing, but people feel differently about them because of like some of the ways they presented themselves. And then again, there could be some other person that is posting that person. Like someone mentioned posting Bobrisky video and that being the only time they get engagement. You can go on something, you can see like other people that are using Bobrisky sounds on TikTok, but they're not getting any engagement because there are other things that they've gotten wrong. So all of this just to say that to learn, like first of all, don't assume it is such a hard or difficult or complex thing to learn. It's very easy to learn. It's very, very easy to learn and very easy to like understand and get mastery in. You just have to be strategic about the way you're consuming content, and you have to be intentional about like learning from people that are teaching you these things. So there are lots of, if you go online and search digital content strategy on YouTube, a lot of videos will come up that are very relevant and very insightful you can learn from. There are a lot of creators that post daily content on this field on how to do these things better, do them well, do them creatively. Follow them, learn, save those videos, watch them, practice. Like you can create a faceless account, or you can even use your own account to like practice what you're learning and grow and that will be a way to grow your portfolio so that you are employable. So for being employable now, one hack that I found useful, especially when you're just starting out and you don't have so much experience, is to join communities and volunteer for the communities. For example, Alt1 is such a great community. For them to be putting together this masterclass series, it's such a great initiative, and it's a great community to join and volunteer for. I don't know if they have those opportunities open, but they most likely will. You can send email. Like, for example, let me tell you a story about how I started mobile videography. It was because I sent the Hair Summit. For the past 3 years, I've been like leader for social media content for the Hair Summit by Her Network. And it all started because I sent them a random email to volunteer for the first edition. Just volunteer to create social media content to drive the event. And then it was accepted. I got accepted. And then I did such a great job that the next year I was called back, and the third year I was called back again. So volunteering is a way to show yourself, to build experience, to contribute meaningfully, and then to maneuver your way into employment, or even just to build your portfolio, so that even if you don't get hired by that community or that person you volunteered with, you at least now you have the experience and you have something to put on your portfolio that you can present to other people and be employed by them.
Okay, thank you. Blessing. And yes, we do have opportunities open. And the great thing is that if the opportunity is not there, you force it to come out.
Yeah. Like you can create the way for yourself, literally.
So like I want to do this for you either way, and then
yeah.
So thank you. Then the next question is from Iyanu Adeoshun. She says, "Hi, thank you, Blessing. You're amazing."
Thank you.
I'm working as a social media manager for an organization that used to offer career development insights and coaching, but recently they pivoted into tech skills training. They call for tech trainers on Instagram and seek to get students from the same platform. I've been struggling to grow the accounts, and the engagement is discouraging. It's a completely remote setting. It's hard to create reels, and my boss wants to increase the followers by 70%.
Okay, yeah, now let me tell you about how I got 9,000 followers in 2 months for an ed tech startup. This was on TikTok. By the way, TikTok is, in my experience, TikTok is one of the easiest platforms to grow an audience for. To grow an audience on, rather, to grow a following on TikTok is so easy. The algorithm is so generous, for lack of a better term. If you're putting out good content on TikTok, you will see results almost immediately. Like I've done it even recently too. Like it's so easy, so easy. Like all of this, I just want you guys to like always just know that everything is so easy. Like once you figure out, maybe you just not figured out that one thing that opens the door to the ease, but all of this is so easy. And the more you do it, the better at it you get. So just keep practicing. So now the story about how I did that, the brand was Educoya. It's an edtech startup. And they had an app that where students preparing for school entrance exams like WAEC and JAM could access past questions, and they could get one-to-one tutoring from online tutors. So that's kind of similar to this platform that you're trying to grow an audience for. So now on TikTok, I didn't even know, like I didn't even call it, I didn't set out to do like a proper campaign, but I just knew that this was I just targeted the time, I think 3 months or so before JAM. Like that's the time when people suddenly wake up and realize that JAM is closed and they've not been studying. And so I started creating a lot of content around to position this app as a great resource for people that want to pass JAM. So I'll create a lot of content around frequently asked questions on JAM, like I can't even remember the details, but I think things like registration deadlines, things to do or not to do, things that could cost you marks in your JAM, how to score over 300 in JAM, just all of that, and then also incorporating trending sounds, and just doing that consistently for a while got the account a lot of engagement and a lot of followership. So basically, to simplify this as much as possible, it is that I simplified what it is, what the problem was that this product is solving for my audience, and then created a lot of content around that product and around the problem, rather. Create a lot of content around the problem and how my product solve that problem, and then use and create that content in a way that is specific to what works on that platform. So on TikTok, this was in 2022. So at the time, trending sounds work. Sometimes I could just do like a short tutorial, like of one of our tutors solving a math problem in a way that is short and easy and quick, and then put a trending sound on it, and people will find that, like, the algorithm will do the rest. Like, of course, add hashtags, and the algorithm will do the rest. And there are a lot of comments coming in, a lot of followerships. Like on a daily basis, we're getting the followers who are following the account on a daily basis, to the point where it grew to like from 0 to 9,000 in just 8 weeks. So it's very, very possible to do. Although that's kind of like, that's a very high target for them, for the employer to give you, but it's a challenge and it's possible to do if you just like, if you're more strategic about the way you present the content, and if you're also more strategic about the platform you choose to show up on. I think TikTok would be a great platform for such service, Instagram as well. So, but for Instagram, the style is a bit different, like talking videos with hook displayed, of course. On TikTok too is great. The video hooks are really, really good. Like, they should be. They're almost a must-have, except the video is one that doesn't need a hook. But if it's just you talking about something, if it's a video where you're talking about something, you should definitely have a hook that hints at what you're talking about, so that when people are scrolling and they see the hook, it grabs their attention and makes them stop to watch what you're talking about. And then, yeah, so that's it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So, again, thank you, everyone. We'll be out of here in the next 5 minutes. We've actually done 2 hours, so might as well see it through. There's just 2 questions left. One is on analytics, a platform or software that you could recommend for analytics that's outside of Google. And then the last question is if you be having, okay, 2 questions again, so that's 3. The first one is on Google Analytics rather, other than Google. Then the next one is if there's a website that social media managers or content strategists can get jobs. So if you know any that you could recommend to this person, to Lillian. And then the last question is from Adedoyin. Adedoyin says, do you have any training for content strategy coming up? I would like to join. And then Lillian also said she'd like to join. Yes.
Okay.
So those are the 3 questions.
All right, thank you. So for the analytics question, honestly, I don't trust. So for example, for social media now, for platforms like Instagram, TikTok, all of that. Sorry, excuse me. I like to get the analytics from the platform itself. I don't trust third-party platforms to give me accurate analytics. Maybe it's just my trust issues, but I just prefer to get the insights from the platforms, because thankfully all these platforms show you the insights. Even on your blog too, you can see the insights there. You can see what's working. So I typically don't use third-party platforms. I just get the analytics from the platform itself. And then what's the next question? I think, okay.
Jobs for social media or content strategists, like websites where you could easily go and then like see jobs.
Oh, okay. Okay, LinkedIn is one. If you turn on your job notifications, even if you even search with your keyword like social media management job on LinkedIn, a lot of stuff will come up. There's Indeed, there's Upwork, there's freelancing platforms like Upwork, freelancer.com, there's Twitter, there's Facebook. My first social media gig, I got it from Facebook. And then I also gotten some from Instagram. Like sometimes you can also, like, if you created a page for yourself to post content about the service that you're offering, social media management as a service, and you create really good content that gets you the attention of your target audience, you can get jobs from that. And then another way is to join communities. Again, a lot of communities really helped me at the beginning of my career to join communities, because most of them have, like, if they're on Slack or even on Telegram, most of them have like sub pages or sub rooms where that's dedicated to job opportunities. So that's another great way to get job opportunities, like from communities, because most times when people are looking to hire, they send the openings to communities even before they advertise it, or they just send it to people that they know. So just join social media communities. There's a couple of them on Facebook, a couple of them on Instagram too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. So The last one was on if you have any training coming up, but then there's an additional question from Peace Up, and she says, how much should a social media manager charge for their service? So that's the last question we'll be taking for the day, and then we'll call it a day.
Okay. So I don't have any social media content strategy coming up. I don't have any such training coming up for now. Maybe I might put something together, but now not really. Not really, I don't. But if I do, I'll most likely post about it on my Instagram. So maybe you should follow or check it out. Then for how much should a social media manager charge? I think this is very subjective and it depends. So when I started out, I think the first thing I ever charged was 15K per month. This was in 2019, and I was doing a lot. I was offering a lot. Obviously, I was undercharging. So I'll say, okay, I'll give you a format rather than giving you a price, a number. I'll give you a format on how to charge or how to arrive at an amount that reflects the what you're offering. So I think you should create different packages, but then also create different packages, and then also like when you get those offers, like take some time to understand what the person is asking of you, like the results they're expecting, and also to like analyze or like just get clarity on what it would take to achieve what they're asking for. Like how much content would you have to put out in a day or in a week? How would you go about creating this content? Like how much effort do you have to put into creating the content? Would you be the person creating the content yourself? Is there a lot of video content involved? If there's a lot of video content, obviously that means there's a lot of data involved in editing, uploading, processing, all of that. So just take into account what is required to achieve what they're asking, and how effort intensive or capital intensive or time intensive it is, and that should guide what you charge, what you charge them. Yeah.
All right.
So
Thank you so much.
Sorry,
I'm so. Oh, okay. I also wanted to apologize to Emileke because I know that we were taking her question before we moved the questions to Q&A, and then we didn't, get around to it. But there's just 2 minutes left. So if you can answer Emileke's question in under 1 minute, then please go ahead and speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So the other question I saw is I attended a training recently, and I was told it's not every brand that can build a community. How true is this?
Oh, okay.
I don't think that's true, because the idea behind a community is like a group of people together that have with a common interest. If the brand is offering something and people are buying it, obviously that means the brand is doing something that is relevant and interesting to people or impactful to people. And that alone is a common interest that a community can be built around. So I don't think that not every brand that can build a community. I don't agree with that. I don't think I agree with that. So that's Bemileke's question. I think, so I remember she said that the brand is struggling with meeting the goals of getting people to follow, right? Or getting people to engage.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
okay, that's it, right? Okay, great. So I would advise that when you get the slides, just create a new strategy and follow the steps as outlined in this slide. So one is create a new strategy, use this slides as a guide to create a new strategy, and then audit your page, like audit your page and identify the lowest performing content and stop doing that. Then identify the highest performing content, maybe stuff that has over 100 likes, or just the ones that perform better than the rest, and see how you can do more of that. But first, it's very important to work with the strategy. So just use this slide as a guide to create your strategy, and check out the other brands that offer the same service in the same industry as you, and note what they are doing right and how it's working for them and how you can incorporate that. And then also check out what people are asking for in this niche. Like, it's Forex. Forex is very it's very top of mind for people. Like, there's an active, people are active about, people are interested in Forex rather. Like, it's a topic that interests people, that people pay attention to. So the issue is not a lack of interest or a lack of fit or anything. It's just there's probably a step that you've not refined well. You've not refined your audience enough, or your content is not optimized to perform well on the platforms that you're posting to. So just create a new strategy, check out what is working for other brands, audit your page to find out what is working for you too, and what you should do more of and what you should stop doing entirely. And then also make sure your content is good, like really engaging. Like if you are not the brand, if you're not the person that created that content, would you engage with it? Would you share it? Would you save it? Would you find it useful? All of that.
Thank you so much. Blessing.